Alright, now on to Game 6, and this will be the second to last game, and the final game, of course, being the decider of the tournament. At this stage, I've managed to win 5 games back-to-back, and I think I had about 11 control points, so doing quite well. The only other person to be on that sort of score, with that sort of control point balance, was Chris, and I'd already beaten him earlier in the series, Harbinger versus Damiano. And Chris was playing a Signar player on a nearby table to me, and I knew that if the Signar guy beat him, then I would just be in the final regardless. And if Chris managed to win with his mercs, that would put him on 5 games and 1 loss. And even if I lost this game, the two of us would be on 5 games, 1 loss, and would have many more control points than anybody else in the field, just talking to other people and seeing what the situation was. That meant that this game that I'm playing here, pSeverius against pKreuger, Circle in the sacrifice scenario, this will be a low-pressure game because even if I lost the game, I would find myself in the finals. So this was pretty much just a formality. I told that to my opponent. I said to him, look, I'm going to be playing Severius just because I want to conserve Harbinger for the final, and it doesn't really matter whether I win the game or not, but I'm going to try anyway just to make sure in case something weird happens, and obviously to collect control points should it come down to something later. But my opponent here has got a pKreuger list. He's got none of the droids. He's just got a Stalker and a Feral Woldguardian. I think this is a really solid Kruger list, but he's got 5 Bloodweavers, which I wouldn't normally use, but I think with Lightning Tendrils they're okay. So nothing really wrong with his list. And me, obviously, planning on heading towards the objective and just seeing to do what I can. The next photo, here's his layout. He's got his Bloodweavers obviously planning on heading around to the right, just in case I decide not to move into the circle. He'll be able to sacrifice a couple of them for the scenario. But other than that, I expect him to move straight up to that big wall that he's got conveniently located in the middle. Next image, just another picture here. He's taken the first turn and put Lightning Tendrils on the Bloodweavers, Skyborn on Kruger, and just moving out with everybody else, getting the stones up as well so that he can teleport out into the next turn. So next photo, this is exactly what he does. After I move out with my first turn, the Errants over onto the zone, just anticipating his move forward. Severius is behind the wall and he's put up all of his spells in anticipation of the next turn, and I'm not too worried about my opponent here because Severius is immune to direct spells being cast at him. So what my opponent does anyway is he teleports the Woldguardian out with the shifting stones, and then before anything else activates, Kruger himself activates, moves forward and throws a chain lightning at the back of the Woldguardian, which obviously the lightning arcs through my army, and it happens that pSeverius is actually closer to one of the Errants than one of the other ones, so the lightning does arc through him. He boosts the power 10 damage on Severius at dice -4, and I think rolls a 10, getting 6 points of damage on him. So not the end of the world, he's still got 10 boxes left, but now the Woldguardian activates and tries to cast lightning, chain lightning as well. And the idea here is that the Errants are immune to spells because of their UA. I've sung spell immunity onto the jacks thanks to the choir, and Severius himself is spell immune as well, so the Warden doesn't actually have any targets. That's why I thought I was safe. But the tournament organizer came over and just helped to clarify that the Woldguardian did indeed have vision to one of the choir members behind the infantry, and I think if you guys look at the choir member to the bottom right, he wasn't talking about that one. There's actually one slightly to the south of the Repenter, but not actually pictured. And what happened is that he turned out to be just within 10 inches, just barely made line of sight, and the chain lightning arced back through the Repenter through to Severius. Of course, he boosted damage on Severius and rolled a 14, so dice -4 is 10 damage, which boxed him exactly. So lost the game already in the second turn. A bit of a hilarious one actually, especially considering that this is a no pressure game and I didn't have to win it, and I didn't win it. So despite me going through to the finals anyway, my opponent actually got an award for fastest cast kill from me, which was ironic. just since we had tons of time left before the next round, we actually agreed to have a rematch, and the tournament organizer lent me his Signar army, so we had a rematch where the pKreuger army stayed the same, but I played with Epic Nemo and Centurion, Thunderhead, Thorn, Black 13th, Arlan, Journeyman, Warcaster, and Esquire, and managed to narrowly win that game, although it came down to just Nemo versus Kruger, and I had a Centurion helping me out, but it's a lot better when your caster is immune to lightning. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Watch out for the final coming up next, because that will be an interesting game, no doubt, and everything will be on the line, so check it out very shortly.